Hey friends, welcome back to our channel, Davis Exotics. In today's family adventure, we are going to Tinsley Park and we are going to see what animals we find today and have a fun time on this beautiful Sunday. The stream was running great and we were ready to get in there. We had a few stops before our final destination. There's Scruffy. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to get close to these large red ants. We had them back in Texas and they were much larger. Fire ants. There were several colonies of these guys on the pathway to where we were heading. Did you know that fire ants are in the genus Solenopus? Solenopus means stinging ants. Along the walk, we found plenty of rocks and boulders to dig under. We were really curious to see what kind of critters we would find underneath. And we did find a few littles, things like roly-polies and worms and just your basic insects. I was lucky enough to find a few more roly-polies or doodlebugs under this rotten old log. A favorable isopod for things like lizards. I was happily able to collect a couple of snails too on the way. The bumblebees were zooming by in front of us. They were hard to capture on video. I was able to get close enough without scaring them off too fast and too soon. We made it to the first location of the stream. The stream was clear and flowing nicely, and the beautiful Sunday warm sun was just pouring down on us, and it was just perfect time to be in the river. The water temperature and everything was just right. You can't see from the video, but that area up against the wall was very deep, and when I walked into the water, my boots would sink down a bit in the sand. But it was perfect area for a fish to swim through that tunnel and into the stream from one end to the other. It was the perfect spot to stand there and capture the small fish. We were only capturing these fish for fun, and we were surely releasing them afterwards. It turned into a little game to see how many fish we could actually capture that would swim through that little tunnel. It was so nice and relaxing. You can see I tried and tried to scoop up whatever fish I could find without any luck. Mainly rocks is what I picked up. Finally, I decided it was better if Bubba filmed and I had both hands at the ready. The fish were zipping by me, and at this point I thought I was not going to catch anything. But my fate had changed and I had caught some fish. It was exciting. I had caught 2 fish, and then after that several more. I didn't want to keep them out of the water too long, so we quickly returned them back to the stream where they belong. They were more than happy to leave. Now it was time for Ethan's turn, and he was ready to capture. He was excited. He liked this part of the adventure. He patiently waited just like I had showed him, but to his luck, he did not capture anything, and we were ready to move on to the next area. Before we left, for one last time, his dad helped him try to scare the fish over to him, but he still wasn't able to capture one in the net.
It's not dead. It's not dead.
He may not have found a fish, but he did find a grub. And they thought it was dead at first, but obviously he was alive. So we took him home with us for food for our pets. Now we were at the second location of the area, past the water under the tunnel. The stream gets a little wider and the water starts to move faster in this location. I carefully waded across the stream to the other side where you see that small little waterfall of water coming out of the brook there. I was trying to see if there was anything close over here, like newts, salamanders, frogs. This area is an ideal location for many animals to find. As I was searching the embankment, to my luck, I found a newt or a salamander. Even though newts are salamanders, salamanders are not newts. And most salamanders will stay on land in the dry places. They do go to the water, but newts tend to stay in the water more than salamanders, and they can go on dry land also, but that's one of the biggest differences between the two. Sometimes they're hard to discern between just by looking at them, so you have to look at their habitat and their characteristics. I quickly make my way back over to the other side of the stream where the boys are so that I can show them and they can place it safely in the little tiny aquarium that we brought along with us. I was off moving across the stream once again to the other side. At this point, the water was knee-high deep and it was extremely cold, but it felt so nice. Close to the other side of the stream, to the other embankment, there was like a rock bar in the middle of the water. So I climbed up on that, and it was pretty dry there, as you can see, and I just kind of walked that path for a while. My attention was drawn back to the water when I heard and saw a frog swim across. I wanted to go follow, but he was extremely too fast. So I let him on his way and just continued through. Curious, I found myself poking in holes, wondering if a snake or anything large would come out of this. Unfortunately, nothing did. Moving on, I came across a plank underwater. Knowing most animals like to survive under things like these logs or planks, I picked this up to see what I would find. And of course I didn't find anything big, but I did find two creatures that I am still unaware of what they are. So if anyone is familiar with these, I don't know if it was an insect, a small salamander. At first glance, I thought it was a larva of a dragonfly, perhaps, but I wasn't sure. So if you know what they are, just let me know in the comments. I couldn't believe how clear the water here was. You could see straight to the bottom. I am going down. Now at our third location, I was going down a pretty steep hill. I wanted to make it to the nicest location of the area, where there's a tiny water spillway over the rock's edge. A little help down from my son, and I was finally to the bottom. In my opinion, a great spot to get a tube and go down the river in. Just look how nice and perfect that looks. Also a great location for schools of fish, and there were plenty swimming around in this area. The natural flow of water was so peaceful. You cannot beat this. I was finally out. Did you like today?
Yeah, I like the chicken.
Ethan enjoyed sticking his feet in the cool water. Sadly, our time in the river was over. We had a great Sunday, we had a great time, and it was time for us to go home. Everybody was tired, including Scruffy. He was ready to go. Another great day in nature. One more time through the underpass by the river of schools of fish. Here is one of the creatures we found. This is a juvenile salamander. Right now, species unknown. While he's so young, I cannot tell. I know he looks like an axolotl, but he is not. While axolotls retain their juvenile look when they grow up, this little guy will not. And here is a tiny crawfish that my son named Captain Hook. Oh, and he named the axolotl, or the juvenile salamander, TikTok, after the crocodile on Peter Pan. So for now, these two will be tank buddies separate from my other tank, since we found them in the same location. Thank you again, friends, for joining in on today's video and our little family adventure. Here are a few photos on a quick look back of some of the key parts of our trip. Hey, hit that like button and that bell so you can see future videos, and subscribe. And we hope to see you again. Remember, be kind to your animals and to each other. Bye.